how a server room looks like from the inside. This is what I will talk to you and I will explain to you in this little short video. Let's start with the server room. This is a little server cabinet. There are servers inside. At the top we have the KVM. It stands for keyboard video mouse. So this is a device where I can switch between all the input devices, so the servers you can see here, and decide which one I want to see in my monitor on the back of the rack. Here, this and this are NAS systems, network attached storage systems. This is my private and the private network storage. So my private NAS and the network for the private cluster, for this cluster over here. There's 4 terabytes of usable space in there for my private NAS and 512 gigabytes of NVMe fast storage for the private cluster. This is the NAS from Lenovo. It's the big vault. It has a capacity of 36 terabytes of usable storage space in RAID 5. So there's one parity drive. It's all hot swappable. So if I do this, here nothing happens because everything is redundant and hot swappable. So now the system has understood that it has a problem. One hard drive is missing, so I can remove it, I can put it back in, and everything will be fine and as usual. So now the system will initialize the disk and write all the data that it has missed back on the drive. Let's go down there to this 1U machine. This is our main router. There is pfSense, is the operating system. It's firewall, router, gateway and all this stuff in one package. We are only using the routing capabilities because I have a firewall down here. Then these 2 servers, Spirit and the old Node 3 from our first project. That was my very own first server I had, and I bought by myself. It was very expensive at the time, but today you can get it for 50 to 100 euros on Willhaben or eBay. These 2 servers run our intranet system. This is a system for the school and for my family members and friends. There's a virtual private network, a VPN service from WireGuard installed over there. Also, like the internet has one WireGuard service. So you can directly connect to these systems. Then I have here my Fortinet FortiGate 50E that is not in use right now because we are doing maintenance. Also the UPS not in use right now because of this maintenance work. So the Fortinet has only the WAN connection and not the LAN connections connected, as you can see here with the indicator lights. Now to the internet cluster. It's also one Dell and one HP machine, like we have here. But this is a newer Dell machine. It's our R710. This is a R550, and this is an AMD platform. All the other machines are Intel based. Then we have this monster cluster over here. And as you can see, only this server is running. This is because this is a temporary NAS. That's also storage over there, down there. So, and this real cluster over here, this really big cluster, there is the TGM Microsoft server on. I unplugged it because of the maintenance work. Down there, we have one spare server. That's a chassis, also only a chassis, there's nothing in there. This monster over here, also not plugged in right now, is an InfiniBand switch. It's from IBM, Topspin and Cisco. It's a corporational thing. we have our Eaton 9px UPS. You can see it's opened up right here on the battery side because the batteries are defective. So we are now on the back of the server rack. Let's start with the monitor over here. This monitor is plugged into the KVM on the other side and shows things that are displayed on the server. Like here, the NAS. Let's start with the switch over on the top. This switch is directly connected to the Fritzbox. Then we have this HP switch on the top. This was also my first switch, and I put it in the rack because of nostalgic reasons. The other HP switch is a gigabit, 84 ports gigabit HP switch with a 4x 10 gigabit SFP plus ports. This switch is used for the private network, for my private network. Then there we have another PDU, power distribution unit, but with Schuko plugs. And then we have a lot of other switches over here. We have this 24-port Netgear switch. Above we have a 8-port D-Link switch. That's all. They're all filled up. We don't have any space anymore. You can't see the real lights blinking because this is for the servers down here. And you can see here, these are the cables for the KVM. So they are very big and very long, and they are VGA, USB or VGA and PS2. Okay, right now I've powered on the AI server. You can see 4 Tesla K80 GPUs, and down there are 2 Intel Xeon CPUs. We have 128 gigabytes of DDR4 memory installed on this AI server. On this server there is running a Debian machine that runs Olama models. And we're also fine-tuning our own models. Why the system is that loud is because we have 8 of these little screaming 1U server fans installed. This is because so that we have enough airflow for the GPUs. It isn't possible to cool these GPUs without this gigantic massive fans. So what you can see here is one spare server. It's powered on and plugged in right now. So a server does not need anything special. It needs network cable and one power cable. You don't need a monitor or something like that. You have ILO ports. That's what HP calls them. Dell calls them iDRAC. So they are remote management ports. So let's open this server. But now I want to show you what really is a server. A server does not have to look like this every time. A server is every device that runs a service. If you start on your laptop a Microsoft server, then your laptop becomes a server. But what is special about servers like we have them here? It's hot swappable capabilities. They're a power supply that I just pulled out of the machine. The machine is still running. I also can remove one RAM. Even one CPU could die or could be removed and the system would still run as normal. And if I remove this plastic thing there, you can see the RAID controller. It has a battery on it. The battery powers the RAID controller in case of a power outage. You can see the management port over there, 2 USB Type A ports, 1 serial console connection, 1 VGA port. Then we have the PS2 connections, 2 RJ45 Ethernet connections, and 2 redundant power supplies. Now I'm going to show you how Proxmox looks like and how Proxmox is used. In my case, I will use now the private network, and we will have a look at this right now. Let's log in with the username root and a password that we have set for the internet, for the private network. Now you see we have not a valid subscription. That's fine, it's okay. We click on it. You can see the 2 nodes. Expand them. You can see VMs and containers. At first you have your data center. And there you can see every important information. We can click on summary. We have 48 CPU cores, 171 gigabytes of memory, and 12.85 terabytes of usable storage. Virtual machines, 14 are stopped, 5 are running, and 6 LXCs are running, and 20 are stopped. Let's create a container. Then we click over there and create a container. We can select in which node we want to create them. Let's say node 2. Call it video_test. Set a password. Let's set a tag. Okay. Let's click on next. So here we can choose the templates. Let's say I want Debian. Everyone are main NAS and 2 gigabytes should be fine. Let's give them 2 cores and 1 gigabyte memory. Network. DHCP. Let's don't use static IPs because it's just a data server. We don't need to enter manually because our DHCP is doing that. Okay, let's say start after created and say finish. So let's say console and we can log in. Everything is there. So the first, my standard command, press enter, ping, -T1. You can see we pinged it. Let's set the password and now you can see how easy it is. And now I should be able to SSH, say enter, and finished. So this is what you can do with Proxmox. It's a hypervisor, you can set up virtual machines, you can set up everything you want. I really like Proxmox because it is very easy and it makes my life a lot easier. Now let's go to the TGM and look at their servers. So now I'm in the server room from a school, to be exact the TGM. I'm here in the main server room. There's also another smaller one in the last building, but I'm not going to show you this because this is from a totally different network and this is the main network from the whole school. So we are looking here at the connections between the buildings. We have 5 buildings in total, the main building here and then 3 buildings in one direction and 1 sport building. So these are the fiber connections between the facilities. So now I'm in front of the real servers where the real magic happens. We have here the backup, what I've told you a few seconds ago, for the other server room, for the Versuchsanstalt. And here we have storage and the real servers from the school. So that are the Citrix systems. So this is a virtual Windows desktop in our case, where the students are able to connect to and the software is pre-installed. So this is the benefit of a Citrix system. This is hosted here. This is also the camera storage. We have here the front of the fiber connections between the servers and the storage controller. This is the front of a switch. I'm going to show you the back of the switches and the servers also, so then you have comparison between what I have at home and what we have here. As you can see, I'm now in the back of the server racks. We have here the backup infrastructure of the Versuchsanstalt. These switch cards are part of the huge switch over here. This little guy here, what we saw in the front with the fiber connections, is this in the back, and this Ethernet links are the switch extenders. So this is a Cisco switch, and the Cisco switches allow you to extend the ports with extension cards or extension modules, like we can see over here. They are connected via duct cables, so direct attached copper, directly with the switch backplane. And as you can hear through my microphone, I guess, is that it's very loud over here, and some servers are ramping up right now because they're doing something. The systems, this is SAN-like, so we have a storage attached network over here, and then we have the servers. This is what a real data center also is doing. Also there, out of the frame, this is the main internet link. These 2 racks have the main internet connection and the firewall inside. We have there a backup from the Versuchsanstalt, and in the Versuchsanstalt there is a backup from these systems, so from this rack here. That's because we want the backup in a different place, in a different location, as the servers are. This is not like in my room, in my server room I have everything in one location and in the cloud, but they have it in different locations, so it's easier. If this room burns down, they have a backup from everything in another room, another location. That's why they did this. And then you can see this here, these tubes. These tubes are the tubes where the fibers come in. They have air ventilation. They can cool the room. So, we are back now from the TGM. It was a very nice experience there. So a huge thank you goes out to the whole team from Maximilian Frühmann and Michael Weber. Thank you to you two guys, because without you it wouldn't be possible for me to be in the TGM server room. So thank you to you two and to the whole administration team from the TGM. And I hope I could answer you the question